and good morning, everyone. I haven't done this in a while. It's a Monday, it's summertime, so it's going to get into the high 90s today. But I was thinking, I had two thoughts, and I kind of wanted to go through them both. That's the kind of mentality, your mindset. When you get into, I guess, everything, life. But for this, I guess the context of this video and for my channel is when dealing with or when talking to clients, talking to prospects, trying to make sales, I think that mindset is very important. I remember when I first got interviewed for my first job in insurance, the hiring manager, the interviewer, found out that I play a lot of tennis. And in tennis, 80% of the game is won in your mind. Provided that everything else is the same skill-wise, even if you have a slight advantage on the skill-wise, mindset is everything. It's like 80% mindset, 15% skill, and 5% chance, right? And that 5% chance, 15% skill is vastly affected by your mindset. If you can, like, I've beaten tennis players who are obviously better than me, primarily because they couldn't believe that I made a lucky shot, or that their shot, didn't go over the net or went long. They couldn't get that out of their mindset. And that's really important when going into things. The right mindset can mean the difference between making or breaking your career. And the reason I bring that up is because over the weekend I went to Barnes & Noble's and I saw this book. And this book was called Hidden Games. It's kind of like it was in the science section, so it wasn't like a dramatized fiction romance novel. It was actually a book about game theory. For those of you who don't know advanced mathematics but have an idea of game theory is the kind of equation that looks at a con, or a game like the long con, like a game within a game within a game, and tries to figure out how each side of a two-player game will do things in order to think a few steps ahead. Now, I totally butchered what game theory actually is, but you can think about it this way. In game theory, the prospect of game theory only works if both sides of the game, the players in this case, know the rules of the game. And that's why we have a lot of human, relational problems, because people are, apart from playing the game with their relationship partner, whether they be a friend, a spouse, a coworker, they're also playing an internal game with themselves. So that's why for a human relationship it becomes very difficult, because I don't know what that other person is thinking, because they could be playing a completely different game than me. Simon Sinek goes in his Infinite Game book that the reason why many companies are losing is because they're playing the wrong game. So with game theory, if two players aren't even playing the right game together, the game theory goes completely out the door. But game theory is what a lot of, I guess you could call it, researchers and marketers use to play this game of business. So when you're playing the game of human relationship, it becomes infinitely more difficult, because your prospect might not be playing the same game that you are. And how am I going to tie this back into sales 4 minutes and 45, 6, 8, 50 seconds into this thing? When you tie it back into your prospect's mind, they could be thinking a ton of other things on why you're calling. what you're trying to sell. And therefore the game gets all thrown off. So for those of you who go into the call with a set rules of how the person's going to react, you may be incredibly disappointed or incredibly relieved when something gets done. So what then can you do? Well, then it goes all the way back into the mindset, right? So if your mindset is to the point where your skills and chance are really only 1/5 or less of your kind of strategy, you'll be good. And why is that? Because in game theory, the game is played multiple times, right? It's one of those infinite case studies where you need to do things through a multitude amount of times in order to get a good result. You need great sample size. And game theory usually ends up working out for the person that plays the game correctly. Or else game theory wouldn't even exist. So if you approach your business with a strong mindset, have the why you're doing this be the guiding light and truly be a resonance of what you believe, right? Then, usually only then, well, when you go through your day, you'll be able to continue with your day. And to make it very come back home to the sales process, in my head, I always think that my client is going to find some piece of information online that's going to tell them why the way I do something is beneficial, self-beneficial to me, right? So the disclosure of commissions, so to speak, or the disclosure of, why I want them to sign up sooner rather than later, to come to light. But that's not my perspective, right? I work on the side of this is best for this person because of what they've told me. So we're playing two different games, right? If the person on the other side of my call believes all I'm trying to do is make money, that's all I'm trying to do. It's a little more complicated than that, though, right? It's a lot more complicated than that. So then, I guess you could say what can be done to assure or to kind of make light that the other person, prospect on the end of the line, knows that I'm playing the right game. That we're playing the right game, right? But then it goes to the very beginning of what I was saying about game theory and how a lot of times it is the con within the con within the con. And that's where everything gets thrown off, and we go back to the very, very, very beginning of this thing. The mindset, playing tennis. The goal in tennis is to have fun. You'll keep coming back and playing the game. There will be times when you play people who just don't give a rip about having fun. They only care about winning. You can play those people a lot. I've played those people a lot too. You can play people who don't even know how to play tennis, and then, goodness, it becomes no fun for me because I'm just running around chasing, balls because I just want to keep the ball in play. I just want to kind of have fun. So we're playing a different game, even though the game is the same game. So when you're going out there, make sure your clients are at least playing in the same mindset as you are, trying to find something perfect for them. And while I was driving my wife to work today, I thought about this very, very, very good comparison, okay? So, people go like the 7-Eleven all the time, even though they know, or a convenience store, for those of you who don't know what 7-Eleven is. Knowing that they will pay more for whatever they buy in there. Chips, milk, eggs, drinks, whatever. It's going to be more expensive than if they went to, let's say, Walmart. And when you go to Walmart, you can get whatever you want at a much cheaper price. But you know that. It's kind of like going to like a discount store. You know it's going to be cheaper. But yet both of those things exist. Both the convenience store and the discount store. Okay? Now, for someone who is a sales agent, you are more of a convenience store because you're telling them what they want. But yet, we are one step further, because at the convenience store, the 7-Eleven worker doesn't ask you about your health preferences. They might ask you which one you want, the Coke or the Pepsi, because they could have both. They should have both. But they're not going to go in any further. When you're an agent, that's really all you need to do. You can ask, do you like Coke or do you like Pepsi? And that's the end of your responsibility as an agent. But as someone who takes their career serious, we're over there, interestingly, right? We're in the department store, or we're in the convenience store as a sales agent, and we're asking these questions. So as far as your health and your eating habits and what you've already had today, calorically, where do you stand? And do you need more vitamins of some kind? Do you need more calcium? How much fat content have you had today? How much carbohydrates? How much protein? It's kind of like we are the nutritionalists inside the 7-Eleven, helping our clients shop for the best deals, right? And for the client, this stuff is free. Our services. Could you imagine? It'd be pretty weird, actually, and pretty, we would think it's an encroachment or infringement of our kind of privacy. But that's kind of what we do. We help people figure out exactly what they need in the store. We do it all for free. I don't know about you, but there's convenience. There's those shoppers, Walmart shoppers. We've got HEB shoppers. They shop for you. You tell them what you want, and they go pick it up for you. They charge you. But they don't tell you what they think is good for you. They don't recommend things for you. They don't provide you with in-depth advice on how to do things. And when something happens, like the product that they sold to you malfunctions, doesn't work right, they don't follow up. They don't do any of those things. So agents out there, you guys are doing so much based on the consumer relationship that other companies have. And I understand it's a different industry, but all in all, it's the same consumer service relationship, right? So go out there, help a lot of people, sell a lot of insurance, provide for your families, and have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.